Hello my heroes, welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I'm your host to the universe, Christopher Witecki, and an invitation down to soulgarden.me, this time for our first primetime office hours called Office Hours After Dark. This stars Jenny Watson, our village chief. She runs Soul Garden Village, if you don't know, and I, Marcella, which is our cruise director for office hours. So these are the girls, they're showing up, they're on cam. This is where we talk love, this is where we ask love questions, this is where we cuss. That's it, SG After Dark. Hope to see you guys there this Monday, which would be now. I don't know, depending on when you watch it. You missed it last Monday. And we are shifting into a new state of awareness now. We're moving into the I love, which is Leo. And when you are an Aries, you are also focusing on your inner child, which is I love. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but the way it works is we're always working on at least 3 stories at the same time. We always have our global story, which God conscious, which is the sun. Sun is our local God service provider, by the way. The Egyptians had it. So the sun is in Leo, which means the entire earth this month is working on I love, things you love. And our source energy, connecting to source love. And by the way, you connect to source love through yourself, not through others. But that is where the planet Earth is. That's one of the stories going on. Story number 2 is your inner child. If you are an Aries, when the sun is in Leo, you are then working on your inner child. For an Aries, the inner child is the source to love. That's true with everyone. See, Aries is being the first sign and the best sign. I know that's what you're thinking, so I just had to say it for you. But now that you're first and best, you line up the states of awareness with the global Earth. So Aries are always lined up with Earth. What they're working on is what Earth is working on. But then there's also a third level, which is based on your exact time and date of birth, and that's the level we work at with GA. When you're a GA subscriber, we're giving you a text that's your personal story. So Earth is love, Aries is his inner child, and GA text, I'm not sure, you should sign up. Now that said, you are working on Monday into getting connected to all these states of awareness. It's the first degree, it's the beginning of the new chapter. On day 1 with Monday, the moon will be in Libra, so your emotions are very centered on relationships, fairness, balance. More on that in a second. In your personal life, this is about really seeing, 1, do you have love in your life? Now you'll likely project that question onto your long-term relationship since the moon's in Libra, so you're going to be obsessed with relationships. But it's bigger than that, this question. Do you have love in your life? More importantly, do you have love in your own personal self? Do you have love from yourself? And then we get deeper to the inner child. Is your inner child online? Do you get to play in life or not play in life? Or do you live a very boring life? Or have you lost the passion to live, the passion to have fun? When people lose the passion, they have lost connection to their inner child. So on Monday, you're asking that question. Are you connected? And we'll be asking it with GA. One trine that I do want to point out on Monday is Uranus in your sign up to the moon crossing Mars in Libra. So you are sympathetic, you are sentimental, and right on this particular day, you are comparing your ability to innovate your ego with Uranus, and you're trying to carry that ego innovation over to relationships. Now, as the moon crosses over Mars, we will have kind of a burst of passion, and that burst of passion may throw off your relationship. Now, burst of passion may be between the sheets, it might be you fighting, it can be a lot of things, burst of passion. But what it is a moment during this day on Monday to restore balance between your evolving ego with Uranus and your attempt to find the best, most perfect relationship of balance with Mars, Saturn, and the moon right now in Libra. On Tuesday, things get very emotional. So whatever happened on Monday, you emotionally kind of react on Tuesday. So if you didn't make up sex on Monday, Tuesday she gets mad, or he gets mad, or you get mad. That's just because it's an emotional day. The moon is the ruling planet on the day, so it's cloudy, chance of storms on this day. Part of the day is this, on the one hand is that opposition. On the other is a new trine. We have a trine between Venus and Gemini going up to this conglomerate of planets up in Libra. And what this means, this other trine with Venus, you're going to have to open your mind, says Venus in Gemini. Open your mind, Aries. When you open your mind, and Jupiter is going to help you do it whether you like to or not later, but Venus is ahead, this open-minded approach is what's necessary, says the trine, to this party going on with the Mars, Moon, and Saturn. And during the course of the day, of the emotional day on Tuesday, the moon crosses Saturn, so you're called to grow up or emotionally mature, probably because you had to open your mind, says Venus. On Wednesday, Jupiter rules the day. It's a powerful, fun day to kind of play. The moon is still in Libra, so you're on day 3 now this week as far as relationship shifts and adjustment. I must remind you that LTRs and relationships for the Rams is what you have got to wrap up by fall, by Halloween. All right, so it is time to get your things in order. And right now, in this beginning of the I love transit, of stepping into whether or not you love or don't love, this is a relationship is a big part of that for the Ram. So on Wednesday, you're really starting to feel, I think, with a more open mind, less trauma, but really starting to feel, hey, what kind of marriage am I ending up in? Or is this going to work? Or maybe I'm not, I don't have it in me. That's the kind of philosophy maybe going on, I think, emotionally. But we're also doing a lot of processing with I love. In fact, check this out. We've got a double yod. Now, on the one hand, we have the finger of God pointing up to Pluto. I'm going to dismiss that one. We talked about that last week. But today and for a couple of days, we have a yod that goes down to the sun in Leo. So what this is basically saying to you is you are perplexed and you are philosophical on Wednesday is, hey, it is time to, on the one hand, take your different decision making, which is what Pluto represents. You make different decisions based on different criteria. Take your gut instinct, which is Neptune and Pisces, and really explore your options both for your love sources on Earth and whether or not you're loving yourself. I'll give you a little hint here I teach in classes. If you're out chasing someone, if you're dating someone unavailable, if you're chasing after someone, Aries is chase, and they're not responding, 9 out of 10 times a client is chasing because what you really need to do is find yourself first, then you won't attract the person that runs. Just one little clue of what we're starting to understand. On Thursday, Uranus rules the day. It's a breakdown day. Definitely thunderstorms, chance of breakdown. Now, the moon is in Scorpio, so you're now ready to draw some emotional lines, and you're much more vulnerable on Thursday. So obviously, at this point, it's pretty clear what things are, and you're feeling it, and lines need to be drawn. If you have been in the dark this whole time about love in your life or loving yourself in your life, this may be a very severe breakdown. It's definitely a temper tantrum though, because you are in an I love and a child transit. You are trying to find what's in the way of love to yourself, what's in the way of love in the world, both. And so this breakdown is probably reality hitting you on Thursday. Everyone, by the way, but you a little harder than others. Then comes Friday, and Friday's not exactly a party, but at least no more pain. That's a party a lot of times on Earth, right? Well, we have Mercury ruling the day, which is still retrograde, by the way, and now conjuncting the sun. So this is a powerhouse of really starting to get it. The question on Friday really is, do I love myself, and does that love exist? And then secondly, am I receiving what I want lovingly from the universe? Now, if you don't love yourself, you won't receive from the universe, but both are kind of coincided, particularly right now. And loving yourself comes down to creating a life that you love. If you have no fun in life, you're not loving yourself. If you let your weight go way crazy, you're not loving yourself. If you only eat one time a day, you're not loving yourself. If you don't sleep enough, you're not loving yourself. So if you have any questions about not loving yourself, because everyone goes, oh, sure, I love myself. Oh, really? Where is it in your behavior, Aries? Because you are a person of action after all. We should be able to list all the things you've done this week for how you love yourself, all right? Sorry, I got to be a little pushy there. There's a helicopter here that's acting like an Aries, just flying around, trying to create problems. It ain't going to happen. Anyways, I love you guys. On Friday, it's about breakthrough. Are you loving yourself? Are you showing up for yourself? Are you being everyone else's hero? That's really the question on Friday. And we've got this trine going on between what? Uranus in your sign, down to the sun in Leo, which means for the next few days, you're going to be innovating your ego, which is everything to you, innovating when you act, innovating when you defend, and that innovation goes directly into loving yourself differently with the sun conjunct Mercury retrograde. Loving yourself differently. That's really chapter 1 anyways. Loving yourself differently means that you do things for yourself, that you put yourself in the right play for love, etc., etc. So Friday's a partly cloudy day, but I do think we start to get it. Then on Sunday, it's super rainbow, sunny, fun. Venus rules the day, so the universe is attempting to restore balance and order to this week's lesson. For you, it's balance and order to the inner child, balance and order to receiving love. You might be on a creative path on this particular day, a romantic path. Anything that's a lot of fun is heart chakra, period. So even if work is fun, heart chakra is there with you. All right? So really it's about getting back to the fun. At the same time, the moon moves into Sagittarius, pulls out of the Sirius Scorpio, so your emotions now shift to philosophy and your beliefs and what brings life purpose. And bringing even more meaning and purpose is this, a soul pyramid in fire. My favorite, passionate fire. It starts with the moon up in Sagittarius, so you're starting to feel, hey, what brings my life's most purpose anyways? What's most meaningful? All right? Now, obviously, this moon down to the sun is saying what's meaningful is love and creativity and a happy inner child. That's what's more meaningful. Well, how do we do it, Mr. Owl? Well, Uranus says you're going to have to innovate your ego. That was more Groucho Marx. You're going to have to innovate. Here we go. That's kind of funny. But that said, this soul pyramid, I think, is going to feel passionate. I think it's going to feel good. So, you know, the moral of the story is just make it to Saturday. You know, Christopher's got a little piece of candy waiting for you. The universe does, really. I just told you about it. Then on Sunday, very spiritual day, partly cloudy day, logged into our higher self. Neptune is ruling the day. We also have an interesting opposition during the day, which is worth pointing out. Really, today is a day of psychic connection, so that's typical church, at least in America-driven Sundays, right? But there's this tug-of-war between an opening mind with Venus and Gemini and a moon or an emotions trying to find meaning and purpose. So trying to find a balance on Sunday between meaning and purpose in your life and then actual open mind clarity and details that support meaning and purpose. Basically finding a truce between your passions about how it should be and your mind about how it is. And that's kind of one of the classic tug-of-wars of all humans anyways. All right, that's all I have for the day and for the 7 days. But I hope to see you in SG After Dark or Unite the Light on Friday or anywhere in the garden. Until next week, live, love, be.